Hi guys, welcome back to Java Full Stack Made Easy. Session 83 part 2. Here we will be talking more about the derived queries. In the previous session I have shown you a very simple example about a derived query where we have found the superheroes based on the universe. So this was something which we have implemented in our previous session. In this session we will try and write a few more advanced derived queries. So let's go ahead and start with it. The rest all things are as same as what we have been doing. And if you have not watched the previous video, watch the previous video to get an understanding of the flow of the code that I am writing. So the next thing that I want to find is maybe I want to find the superhero based on the universe and a power. Superhero based in a specific universe and the power. So that is something which I want to fetch. So for that, once again, it is going to return me the number of superheroes, because in a universe, like for example, let's say if I have a universe DC and some XYZ power I want, so there is a possibility that in a universe there can be superheroes with that, multiple superheroes with that particular power. So that is why once again it is going to return me the list of superhero. Like we discussed in the previous session, we have to use this keywords it's not a keyword, but it is a kind of a standard to make our Spring Data JPA understand what has to be found. So now we want to find it based on the universe and power, so that's how it is written. And two arguments, obviously universe has to be passed and then the power has to be passed. But make sure whatever you are finding, it is relevant to the properties that you have declared. Like for example, if I go to my entity, now you can notice that I have the universe property. Also I have the power property here. I cannot just tell my Spring Data JPA to find it based on let's say uh, some XYZ property which does not exist. Fine. So that is why writing these methods is very important, and also passing in the arguments which has to be specifically with the property name. That is why it is universe and power, so that Spring Data GPA can create uh, queries accordingly. Similarly, what I will do is I will write one more query here. Maybe like I told you in the previous session, let's try and find a superhero which contains certain name or something. Okay, so this again will return me a list of superheroes. So it will be find by, we do have a property called as name in the superhero, so we will say name containing. Fine. So you can have these type of things, name containing, greater than, between, and all those things can be added. Now again, obviously name containing, now the property is not there, so name containing any keyword, so let's pass in that. So whatever keyword you pass, based on that it will search for the superhero and return us the superhero. Now the next thing would be what, let's say I want to find out a superhero by universe only, but in that case I want to ignore the case. Fine. So first of all, when we create these queries, they will be case sensitive. If we normally create the queries, we want this retrieval to be case insensitive. In that case we have to use ignore case, so that our queries becomes case insensitive. Once again, it takes string universe. So I have set up three new methods in the repository. One is find by universe and power, second one is find by name containing, third one is find by universe ignore case. Now the next thing would be, once again, we have to now go ahead and create the service. We have to expose the methods in the service repository, sorry, service interface. So let's go ahead and expose these methods in the service. So I'll copy it here, I'll go to the service, and I want these methods to be created in the service as well. But in the service there will be only one change, a slight change, because the repository directly returns us an entity. We don't want the entity to be exposed to the outside world, so that is why we will be creating it as a response here. Fine. That is why we have to map it and convert this response entity into a response later. So rest all things I have written the same thing, find by name containing, find by universe ignore. If you wish to change the names here, you can change the name, like if you want to make it like something like a search by name, or maybe you want to say this as get by universe and all, here you can change it, but not into the repository. In the repository it has to be find by. Here it can be changed if you wish to change it. Fine. So since I don't want to change it here, also that is why I have just kept it as it is. If you wish to change it, you can change it, no problem whatsoever. Now, in the super service heroes IMPL, we have to add the unimplemented method, the three methods that we have created. We have to add that. So those three methods will be added here. Now, let's go ahead and implement these methods. So implementation again would be very much easy, as we have been implementing the other methods. Okay. So we now want to implement what? Get by universe and power. So let's get that universe and power. So once again, I will just copy this thing which we have done before, which was to find it by the universe. Now we have to find it by universe and the power. So most of the thing, that is a stream, map and to list, will remain the same. That is because we have to convert an entity into a response instance. That remains the same. Only thing is here repository dot find by, it should be what? Find by universe and power. So this has to be called, and it takes two arguments, obviously, universe and the power. So two arguments it will take, and that's it. It is again exactly same as what we have implemented in our previous session. Similarly, now we have to do a find by name containing. So once again, I will simply go ahead here and then paste the same thing once again, because the implementation way is same itself, only the method that we are calling will be different. So all of them are list. Now instead of saying find by universe, it is find by name containing, right? So find by name containing the keyword, let us pass that keyword here. So we are done with that, and we are going to return it like this. So same as what we have implemented in our previous session. Fine. So similarly, now one more method was there, which was what? Let's go back. So find by universe ignore case is something that we have implemented. So again, the same thing. We'll paste it, and the find by universe, this will take an ignore case method. Rest all remains the same itself. Fine. So let's save it, and now we will go to the controller. That is our last implementation, the controller. Three methods now we have to implement here. That means three endpoint has to be created. Now what is that three endpoint going to be? So these all are what? The get endpoints only. So for the universe, just to avoid the conflict between the normal get method, which is get by ID, which was this get by ID, and the universe, we have implemented this universe path here. Similarly, we will change the power and everything. Okay. So for power we don't need to, because it takes two arguments, so we can simply say universe slash the universe and then the power slash the power. That thing can be implemented, or we can just pass in two path variables, and that will also work for us, because slash universe will just take only one path variable here, whereas slash universe slash power will take two arguments. Fine. So what I can do is I can do directly, I can add up a power here, or if I wish to have a slash universe slash power and then pass the power, we can do that as well. So let's put a slash, and then this is gonna be a power, and it will take a path variable as power. Okay, so this is gonna be our get by universe and power. So you can give any name to it, since it is what you say, uh, since the name should be meaningful, that is why I'm giving it as get by universe and power. So the path variable, now two path variables has to be passed. One is the universe, next one is the power. So I'll say two path variables, universe and power. That's it. And then rest all thing remains the same. Instead of the service dot find by universe, it is going to be find by universe and power, and that takes two arguments. So we will be passing these two arguments here, which is gonna be universe and power. Fine. So by doing this, we will be done with this particular endpoint, and this endpoint will be slash universe, then the universe name slash power, and then slash the power which we want to retrieve. Okay. So this is our find by universe and power. Similarly, we will try and search it based on what we wanted to search by name as well, right? So let's do that. So since I already have this copied, so let's get this. So we wanted to search it based on what? Based on the name. Let's check name containing, right? So find by name containing, that is what we wanted to search for. So let's call it as what? Maybe something like search. So I don't have a search yet, and the slash, this is gonna take some keyword as a path variable for us. So we will pass it as slash, then the path variable is gonna be what? Keyword will be passed, and that is gonna be our path variable. Fine. So here we go. This will be get by name or something. We will do it get by search name or something, and that will take string uh, this path variable keyword. Okay. So now response entity find by name containing is something I have to call here, name containing, and then the path, which is the keyword I have given. That's it. Fine. So this is find by name containing, and what was our last one? That was about find by universe ignore case. Fine. So that has to be called once again universe, I will say, and the slash, I will call it as ignore case ig, and the response, same thing, get by universe, let's call it as ignore case. Path variable will be universe itself, a user is going to pass the universe, and the find by this should be ignore case, which we have implemented, ignore case, and it takes universe, so rest all remains the same itself. So three endpoints we have created just now. One is slash keyword, slash search slash keyword, then universe slash ig slash universe, and then universe slash power slash power. Fine. So let us test these three endpoints as well. So I will save this, and let's run this application. So run it as Java application. Now in some machines you might see that it gives you an option to run it as a Spring Boot application. That can happen if you are using a STS IDE. Either you use an STS IDE, or you can go to this option here, help, and then download the STS from the Eclipse marketplace. There you will get an option to run it as a Spring Boot application. Also you can rerun it rather than stopping and executing it. That would be an advantage of making use of the STS IDE over Eclipse. Now I will open the Postman where I can test my endpoints. Okay, so let's get started with that. Three endpoints we have to test, and before this we have added some of the superheroes there. So let us first check what all superheroes we have. So this was about finding the superheroes based on the uh, a universe. So in the universe we have Marvel, right, and for DC also we have, and yes, so in the superheroes we have created an endpoint now, which is the find by universe and power. So you can see that the power is bat for Virat, and for null also it is bat, and for hitman it is written as batsman. So I want to find out just the bat as the power. So if I do that, I should get these two. So Marvel slash, then I have to give power, which is how I have created the endpoint, then slash the power. So I want to search for the bat. So let's send, and it should give me two results. So you can see that I get the two results, which is for one for Virat, another one for the name. null, right? So if I say batsman, I have only one there, which is Rohit, that has to be returned to me. So hitman, sorry. So that is being returned to me. So this is our first endpoint, which is find by universe and power. So that way we have retrieved, we have tested the find by universe and power. Now let us test the other two, which was finding the superheroes based on their name, right, and ignoring the case. So once again, you can notice that, sorry, it is based on the universe ignoring the case. Find by universe ignore case. So let's test that. So find by universe ignore case is universe slash ig. So once again, I have to say universe slash. Now, if I do marvel here, which was my previous endpoint, and when I'm searching for it, marvel, so which I'm getting here, okay, and that actually should not be returned anyways. So ignore case ig slash dc is something that I wanted to search for. I will be able to search it. So once again, it depends on whether you are getting a case sensitive retrieval or not. So if you are getting a case sensitive retrieval, most probably happens in Oracle. My database that I have connected is MySQL now. So in that case, the values inside the database are case insensitive. That is why this is not retrieving. So anyways, so now we can ignore case and retrieve the details. So that is the second endpoint. So in whatever cases you give your universe, it will retrieve you the universe. Fine. So now we have what? We have a name containing. Let us test that endpoint as well. So which is our search slash the keyword, name containing the keyword. So I'll go ahead and say superheroes. I'll call it as search slash the keyword. Let's try and search for a name that contains VI. So you can see that a name containing VI is returned to me. Okay. A name containing just I will give me Virat, as well as Hitman contains I, right? So you can see that. Fine. So that way we are able to retrieve the records. If I go for the name containing R, so it should give me Rahul as well as Virat, because there we have R in here as well and R in Virat as well. So this way we can search the name based on any of the character that it contains. Okay, so maybe you might have seen these sort of things on the uh, pipes and all that we have implemented into Angular. If you remember, we had a web page, and in that web page, whatever text we type, according to that the data has to be retrieved. It was only there at the front end side. If you want to implement the same type of things at the back end, you can do it like this. So all three endpoints with respective to the derived queries we have tested, working perfectly fine. So I will put all of this again into the repository, which is gonna be part 2 here. So I will put up this repository first, where I have implemented these three methods. So nothing, no rocket science here, pretty simple and straightforward things, right? So let's add up a file, call it as part 2 in session 83. So this is going to be our part 2, and the first we will add up a repository, and in the repository we have implemented three new methods, okay, which is this one: find by universe and power, find by name containing, and find by universe ignore case. Then the second one, obviously the service, where we have to implement these methods, we have to write these methods, and the method body in the IMPL, service IMPL, which is again quite same for everything, because all of those methods that I have written, they all return the list itself. They don't return a single value. If it is returning a single value, then we would have slightly changed the response entity and all that. Since they all return the list of superhero responses, that's why it's quite similar. Fine. And after that, you have the URLs that has to be used. So let me give you all three URLs that I have used. So let's go to Postman. This is one URL. This is for what? Search by name containing. So this is one, and for this here I will write this is for search by name containing. This is the endpoint for that. Second endpoint, which is for the universe slash power, was something which I implemented. Universe marvel slash power slash bat. So this was something which I implemented, where in the Marvel universe I wanted to retrieve those superheroes whose power is bat. Fine. So this is the next endpoint, and this is for what? Search by universe and power. And the last one was about the ignore case, which is universe slash ignore case slash ig slash any universe name, which is like a DC or something in my case. So I'll give it as this. So let's copy it. This is find by universe ignore case. Okay, so that is the magic of the derived queries that we have discussed. So most of the time derived queries are used. We do not write custom queries usually when it comes to Spring Data JPA. Fine. So in the next session, we will talk about how do we write the custom query by using the @query annotation, which is JPQL. Okay, so we will see how that works in Spring Data JPA. So that's it from this particular session. If you're liking in the series, do subscribe to my channel, and also share it with your friends so that it keeps motivating me to create more such content. Thank you. See you in the next session.